Picture a family that has done everything right. Both adults work, they own their home, and their income places them solidly in the middle class. Yet one still answers messages after dinner. Medical bills sit half paid, and taking 3 weeks off feels like a fantasy. That family is not failing. They have reached the point where success should feel visible, but life still feels fragile. The question is whether what they earn can become a life that feels dependable. A question sits beneath American ambition. If earning more leads to a better life, why does the life people want look less like more possessions and more like fewer worries? They want time with their children, medical care without negotiation, manageable commutes, and vacations without financial calculations. These are not luxury desires, but they can function like luxuries when households must buy them privately. Higher income can improve choices while being absorbed by the work of making ordinary life predictable. The desired end state is not simply a bigger account, but a life in which fewer routine problems require separate private solutions. Americans have traditionally read status through visible markers: the house, car, neighborhood, and salary. But a quieter form of status now matters to many middle-class households. Control over one's schedule, confidence that illness will not erase savings, and the ability to stay home when a child is sick. These conditions are difficult to photograph, yet they often define a good life. Status can mean the power to refuse constant emergency decisions. The difference between having money to spend and having enough stability that every choice does not feel dangerous. The Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances provides estimates from 1989 through the most recent survey year, in nominal and real terms. The World Inequality Database provides open access wealth and income inequality data from an international academic consortium. Neither measures happiness or tells us what every household wants. They offer context for economic position, while security also depends on what households must arrange themselves. When Americans say they want a European quality of life, they usually mean something structural, not croissants or cobblestone streets. They mean selected experiences associated with some affluent European settings. Predictable time, dependable care, family life less dependent on private purchases, and public spaces that ease ordinary routines. This is not one European model. Experiences differ by country, region, class, and individual circumstance. The comparison asks what happens when parts of daily life are supported beyond the household budget. For an American household, that can suggest a different definition of status. Not displaying the ability to pay for every convenience, but living where fewer necessities must be purchased separately. Europe is not a utopia, and the point is not that every European lives this way. It is that the surrounding arrangement can change how much personal income ordinary security requires. The American middle-class household spends income on more than obvious necessities. The BLS consumer expenditure surveys show how spending is organized, while also acknowledging measurement limits, including issues involving missing consumer expenditure data. Its 2024 annual release, tables, database, microdata, and data quality profile are available. The larger point does not require one table to explain an entire life. A budget is also a map of obligations. Money may go toward care, mobility, health, and the future before it becomes leisure or flexibility. Some choices are personal. Others arise because no shared alternative is readily available. When security is assembled privately, each layer adds planning, payment, and risk. A family may appear prosperous while its income is committed to preserving a normal routine. The contrast is not responsible versus irresponsible people, but different ways of organizing the costs of stability. Much income that looks like prosperity on paper is committed before it becomes time, freedom, or ease. Money and income matter. Earning more can provide choices and a larger margin for error, but money is a resource, while security is a condition. A resource helps a family respond to a problem. A condition determines how often it must respond alone. When households pay privately for every layer of protection, earning more may buy only an approximation of a life another arrangement supplies structurally. A higher earning American household is not necessarily freer. It may be paying more to remain in the same relative position. Personal wealth can purchase options, but it cannot automatically create shared reliability, protected time, or public amenity. The question is not only how much money arrives, but what it must do. If stability requires private transactions, a raise can improve a household's position without removing its daily pressure. The goal itself is changing. Earlier generations often describe middle-class aspirations through acquisitions, a larger home, better car, or college fund. Those goals remain legitimate, but many families now want to stop turning every paycheck into a temporary fix for vulnerability. They want to avoid being one medical event from a setback, end weekly childcare calculations, and maintain daily life without constant effort. Someone comfortably positioned in a society with strong public infrastructure may already have more of that experience. The aspiration is not European in origin, it is human. Europe has become, for some Americans, a vocabulary for naming it. That shifts the conversation from what a household can display to what it can count on. A calendar with room, a routine that survives disruption, or access to shared public resources without treating them as exceptional purchases. For many American middle-class viewers between 30 and 55, this calculation is part of monthly life. They may earn enough that conventional markers of struggle do not describe them, while still facing competing obligations and postponing what requires time and financial slack. The World Inequality Database compares income and wealth inequality through open access data developed by an international academic consortium, helping distinguish personal choices from the wider distribution of resources. The question is not whether every household wants the same arrangement, or whether every European household shares one experience. It is whether the surrounding system changes how much private money is needed for a decent quality of life. Wanting benefits associated with collective support is not necessarily a rejection of ambition. It can reflect what quality of life costs when households secure it alone. A family can be doing well by one measure and still feel poor in time, certainty, or room to recover. Many middle-class Americans want income to stop functioning mainly as protection. They want time to belong to them, and illness or job disruption not to threaten what they have built. They want ordinary life stable by design rather than through constant effort. No country guarantees that experience, and no income level unlocks it automatically. But the aspiration is real, because success is being defined differently. For a large and expanding portion of the middle class, earning more is not enough. They want to stop paying privately for things a well-organized society might provide. Public systems do not eliminate every burden, and possessions still matter. But once a household has enough, additional consumption is not the same as additional control. The deepest form of status may be treating ordinary life as ordinary, having time, care, mobility, and shared amenities without constantly proving they are affordable. If this framing resonated with you, share it with someone who has felt the same tension without having words for it. The conversation about what success means in this country is worth having out loud.